And now Lee Sin being banned by Tribe, they got to play it in game 1 and say, all right, we don't want you getting this champion to counter us with it. So they go ahead and ban it away, picking up the Olaf as their first pick. Meanwhile, the side of Goons getting the Xayah Rakan bot lane. I mean, what else can be said about this bot lane duo that hasn't already been said? It's an extremely strong duo. Very much the one of the strongest pairings in the Dragon lane that you can get for your team. So absolutely, it makes sense for Goons to go ahead and get that duo to start this draft.
Yeah, Xayah Rakan, my favorite combo. I've been saying this for a long time, actually. I've been advocating for this combo for a long time because for a while we have Kai'Sa and Rakan, and I was just like, why would you pick Kai'Sa when you have an ADC that is just as good, if not better, at the same time that can have some synergy with Rakan, right? So sure enough, we're finally adjusting to the meta where you're always going to see these two pair together, or people are going to intentionally try to separate them. Somebody pick Rakan or Xayah, the other champion will be picking on the opposite side. So great pick from Goons right off the bat to start off. Meanwhile, Tribe is going to go ahead and take off the signature Olaf, and then they also take out Kai'Sa. So this game, I'm seeing an Alistar pick, I'm seeing a Braum pick, right? I'm seeing a lot of options that they have on the table right here. They're going for full dive composition, and then Rakan can't stop Olaf. So Olaf kept a free dive onto Gume, onto the ADC. So it's really up to, can they try to poke properly? Can they try to get this Olaf off their back? Or can they one-shot them fast enough? Right now, if you look at Team Goons' composition, they do not have the damage for it. And on top of that, Garen is just going to add soul to injury, right? So if you can't kill T-Tigers, meanwhile, they're going to get like some of your members low. You're just going to get Chuck coming in with the Garen to one-shot somebody with a true damage. And on top of that, it's the AoE damage as well. So if you guys stay together, it's going to hurt. So at this point of the game, I'm already leaning my vote of confidence for draft towards Tribe in this game.
I mean, I think it's a little too early to say exactly, which team has the advantage right now. Obviously, Olaf being able to ignore the crowd control is going to be extremely strong. But we've seen before where Tribe with T-Tigers on this Olaf, he runs in, and the rest of the team isn't necessarily in a position to be able to follow him up, and it can cause some, a bit of a disconnect there. So definitely, I'm a little bit worried about if we end up seeing that sort of play style happen again. But if the team is fully coordinated around it, if, having Olaf go in with the Galio ultimate on top of it, then there's certainly a ton of usefulness that can come from that. And with starting and old school on these carry champions of Corki and Kai'Sa, they're going to have plenty of damage output, but are they going to have enough protection is the big concern that I would have up against this composition that Goons has put together.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest problem that I had with Goons' composition, I think their composition is, by the way, is awesome, right? Like if you look at it, it's literally meta picks, and on top of it, it's really meta picks. They're using many champions that they have to win with, right? Gragas, Camille, you have Orianna, and on top of it, Orianna works really well with either Gragas or Rakan or Camille, right? It doesn't matter who goes in, if Orianna has the ball attached to it, and it's going to be played by Hoon, and we know how scary Hoon's Orianna was. I mean, that 4 people ultimate yesterday we saw, it's just devastating, So this game, that they're going to pick out the Orianna once again, but if you look at her composition, it's missing a lot of damage, especially early game. So yes, Tigers, we might see the history repeat itself, might see have a little bit of damage, a little bit diving in, disconnect from Tribe, but the difference between this game and last time is they also have a Galio on top of it, and Goon didn't have enough burst damage. Previously, when we have Olaf picked by Tribe going against Team Goons, you're mainly going against a team that has a lot of poke damage, right? So before Tigers goes in, he's already taking on the poke, and he's running towards the landmine, he's running towards a lot of poke, running towards damage, going towards the other side. He's gonna get himself low before he can get close to it, and he just dies afterwards. But now you have a Galio who's gonna protect him, give him a huge shield, and you have Goons not able to push out that much damage. that's gonna add, like, you know, it's like a 2 plus 2 bigger than 4 kind of thing, you know. So that's why I said I think I'm in favor of Tribe's composition, because their previous pick didn't have much damage, and sure enough, they finished the competition with even less damage early game, right? But don't take, like, you have to put my words in context, because if this get to late game for Goons, Orianna alone, it's gonna dish out insane amount of damage to Olaf, you know. So it's all perspective, to be honest.
Yep, absolutely. And I mean, even you talk about the late game, yes, you're going to have tons of damage from Orianna, from the Kaisa, or excuse me, from the Xayah and the Camille. But on the other side, you have a Kaisa and a Corki who are both going to be scaling up extremely well, as extremely hard as well. So definitely should be another exciting game as we are on to the Rift. Game number 2 is underway. Tribe on the blue side with Goons on the red. Here we go.
Exciting game, ladies and gentlemen. Let's quickly pull up the scoreboard with Tribe 1-0 ahead. I just love it in the beginning of the game where you can see him just sliding on the ground. It's not like it's like he's not walking. Make you wonder how is a person 5,000 pounds, you know, like able to do that, right? Like that has to be some kind of super martial arts. He has mastered himself, you know, very powerful skills right there. At the same time, look at Hoon and starting mid lane, not too much happening. Corki though does have an upper edge compared to Orianna in lane, because he's able to outpoke Orianna with the skill 1. Look at Hoon's Ori mechanics, right? Look at his positioning. He's able to dodge a skill 1. Meanwhile, okay, but he's able to out-trade his opponent, you know, in many different ways. So big props to Hoon on Orianna over there. I always like to watch him play Ori. It's just such a beautiful position to see all the time. And again, he's not using skins, right? Like that's another thing you have to pay attention to.
I mean, I don't really think that has too much of an impact on the game to be paying attention to. But I mean, you mentioned the fact that starting has, you know, with the range of his skill 1, but you can't really underestimate the range of Orianna's ball. It can go a lot further than I think most people are expecting, especially if you haven't played against Orianna a whole lot. Obviously, starting has absolutely played against plenty of Oriannas, but for those of you in solo queue, it can be a little bit surprising. But Max Green, he's going in here early, doesn't have the taunt available to get anyone grouped up even further, but there's so much damage coming through. The big feather pull from Gume is going to be getting multiple people rooted and stopping any further aggression.
Oh my god, what a ferocious game. I mean, before the grand final even started, we know the quality of this game is going to be good. But look at just a mirror matchup on both sides, right? Nobody want to give up the River Scholar. They understand how important it is for the early game jungle presence, right? Because if you get 2 Scholar like Team Goons is getting, Charm's gonna get a level 5 a lot earlier than the opponent, Tigers, right? I mean, Tigers is only sitting at level 4, just starting level 4. And you look at Carmille, it's getting close to level 5. He's gonna get a small crutch and get a level 5. So the early game advantage that Team Goons is trying to pressure for their jungle is definitely evidently showing right now. So Gume and Wizard on the bottom side, they gave off a full cannon just to make sure they rotate. They mirror the other side and rotate to the River Scholar early. So big shout out to them to make sure they put as much pressure as possible to their opponent mentally.
Yeah, and not even just that, the early, you know, the slight experience advantage, because obviously that's not going to be the end of the world, as T-Tigers is already level 5 as well. You're going to have that little bit of an edge, but it's also just the vision control that you get. Now that so many of the entrances to the jungle that they have vision of on the side of Goons, that is going to make any sort of gank attempt from T-Tigers that much more difficult for at least a minute. So that's the other advantage of why teams put so much emphasis on trying to get the double scuttle early on, or prevent getting double scuttled early on if you've already lost one of them. So really good job by Goons to be able to get those mini objectives, I guess you can call them, as they're not quite as valuable as a dragon or a Rift Herald or anything of the sort, but they are still very important here in the early game.
Yeah, and now Gume is just making her way back with 8 seconds on the timer for the first Infernal Dragon coming out. Wizard setting up a really aggressive ward on the other side of the wall.
Dragon has spawned.
We're gonna potentially see the first major clash for this game.
And take a look at the items as well. You see early Gargoyle Stone Plates for not just the two Baron laners, as both Gragas and Garen have that completed, but also Max Green on this Galio getting the early Gargoyle Stone Plate as well. So a big emphasis on that big team fight durability from both sides. They know exactly what's up. They know there's going to be early fighting around this dragon. They know it's going to be hectic. They know it's going to be, you know, a big clump of people together, and that's where that stone plate really adds value.
Yeah, dragon. If nobody want to give up, 5 people, 5 on 5. This is it. And Gume is recalling. He's spotted by T-Tigers, though. They know they don't have an ADC. They know. Tribe knows they don't have an ADC on the other side, so ooh, they're gonna start dragon right off the bat, especially with Corki on the package. Here it is.
Yep, Corki has the package. There's the package used. Hitman is going to be standing on it, taking a lot of damage, but there's a nice knock-up from Galio. They find a lot of damage onto Hitman. Can they actually get the kill, though? He's surviving for so long, but he does eventually fall. But now, can Gume find any kills? No, it's going to be Chuck and Corki teaming up to take him down, and just like that, Tribe find 4 kills and a dragon. Goon, he's gonna maybe look to try and make a play here, but no, he recognizes, all right, that's 4v1. It's not going to be worth it. And Tribe, they get the early lead. Are we going to see another snowball game?
Oh my goodness. What a decisive play. This is the difference between top tier play, top tier team, that the game that you watch compared to like not so top tier, right? Because they play the game on a tiny window of opportunity. When you spot when they recognize information, when they have information, they execute on that information. Like, when you recognize, hey, Gume went home, and then we have a Corki, let's start this dragon, and they did. And again, I pointed this out. You notice this very vividly in this game where they do not have damage. Like Team Goons, they look at the damage Goon is taking right now from this Corki. You know, like the competition that they have is not for early game. But as you correctly point out, even if this skill to late game, it's not like they're just gonna win, right? Because we're looking at a Corki and a Kaisa combination right there. So it's only gonna get scarier and harder for Team Goons in this specific game. A Tribe really drafted their opponent into a corner, so I really like that.
Yeah, and again, we've talked about so much with these people starting going aggressive there on the Tahoon, looking for some extra damage. But we talked so much about how, you know, with these top teams, it really is whoever gets that early advantage more often than not just completely takes control of the game and runs over their opponents by being able to just starve them out and prevent them from being able to get the farm. And Tribe has that early lead now. They got the early Rift Herald as well. First turret is going to be under siege here, but there's still plenty of minions there. But now, Chuck is in a bad spot here, but there's the rest of the team. Galio, with a huge knockup, is going to keep everyone alive, and just like that, Tribe finds themselves with 3 more kills. They do lose T-Tigers, but I think they'll happily take a 3-for-1 given the circumstances, especially.
Yeah, and especially it's on T-Tigers. Who cares about T-Tigers, right? I do. I mean, like, T-Tigers is what we have designated as a 2-goal.
For anyone who hasn't watched before, we were joking because T-Tigers is very often the sacrificial lamb for Tribe. That's where the joke is. T-Tigers is legitimately one of the nicest guys you will ever meet in your life.
Yeah, he just gave up his life. He's like, go ahead, guys, run without me. You know, run freely into the wild. But it's just incredible combination from Team Tribe right now. Like, oh, nice!
Oh, big engage again. Tribe finding their opponent's Hoon is going to be going down extremely low. Starting gets that kill, and now Gume is going to drop as well. They lose no one and pick up another 4 kills. 11-1 for Tribe.
This is looking like a landslide. What is Tribe doing to Goons? They come to this tournament prepared, man. I mean, that's all I can say. What a beautiful... I was speechless because what a beautiful charm from Galio. Max Green on that tank. It's just on a different level today. I mean, we know that Yikes yesterday was, you know, being swapped out as swapped in as one of the subs to play the tank, and he did absolutely well. But Max Green is still the go-to tank for Tribe. Look at that engagement. That's absolutely insane.
Yeah, I mean, there is a reason why I have advocated over the course of many different tournaments, across different games even, I've advocated for Max Green to get MVP awards constantly, and he is always just one of the go-to playmakers for whatever team he is on, even if he's not the one getting the kills, because he is often playing in these support roles. Not the one necessarily getting the kills, but he is setting up his teammates for success, and he does it better than I think anyone else out there, and he's showing it here today as well.
Wow, I mean, I just don't know what to say. What an MVP tank player. And by the way, if you didn't know, before that, I don't think nothing's happened here, but if you didn't know, Max Green and Old School has been the two-go duo. I think they've just been playing together since so long. They've been playing together in another game also. They've just been playing together. When I was in the EU server, when I just came back from Korea to NA, they were playing on the EU server as a classic duo, right? Lagging together, winning together, playing together. And now in NA server, they're showing the power of, you know, just two people know each other so well and play together so well. Speaking of that.
Another fight happening here. Garen just spinning while his team takes the Baron, and now they can look to engage. Another 3-man knockup from Max Green, and now they're looking to get in deep. T-Tigers is far in, but he's just going to be helping to get more and more damage, splitting up the opposing team. And Tribe has 2 more kills to their name. Rift Herald still pushing down mid, and a Baron buff now in their favor. Starting finds himself a kill onto Rakan, and now it's just going to be Hoon left alive, the last man standing. But Tribe is going to let him live for now. So go home and tell your people what you've seen, because they are just taking over.
Go home and tell people what you see. I'm so sorry. Actually, okay, let me focus on the game. Yes, that was definitely a go home, tell people what you see moment, right? Because left alive. I don't think they left him alive on purpose, and GOONS still with incredible disadvantages, able to find a kill on the Corki when he's starting. Really good plays right there. I just want to say, why is the dog still running on the package? Like, do you see that? He is riding on the package. He's running on the package, but he's relatively speed to the package is 0, but he's still running. I mean, he fight physics. I don't know. I just want to say, great play from Tribe all around. Just back-to-back intense team fights and great engages. Since the draft, man. I think the problem started with the draft, to be honest. Whoever did draft for Team GOONS this game, they really gotta reconsider, like, put a little bit more thinking into it. Because I understand how they're drafting this competition, but it just doesn't have damage. Like, it's not like they're playing bad. They just don't have damage. Like, what are they gonna do? What do you expect in competition? They can land all that quad control, which they did. Rakan still got a really good ultimate, but there's no damage.
Starting using the package extremely aggressively. Was likely about to expire, because I don't know why he would have used it there otherwise. But now, that's going to be Tigers getting caught out, but the rest of the team is here for backup, and nobody goes down just yet. They're still just sieging up these turrets, using these minion waves, but it looks like there is going to be some recalls coming through now to get some extra items in the inventory. You know, Dragon is going to be up in a little over a minute, and we will then likely have another team fight, which could very well be the decisive team fight the way this game has been going.
Yeah, and I think that team fight is it. Right now, Team Tribes are already 11,000 gold, solidified them in a just controlling position, a dominating position on the map, with little to no tower down, actually. Only single turret, tier 1 tower on the bottom side. Meanwhile, for Team GOONS, they only have 1 tower standing. You know, tier 2 on the top side. That tower is going to surely fall. Because it's not connected to anything. We're talking about the coverage, right? It's all a network. It destroyed all the networks with a single tower standing on the top side. Is not going to be much, to be honest, in the line of defense, right? To be honest, I think GOONS is going to be willingly giving that up. Because if you try to fight people 5-on-5 at this tower, there's too many entrance points just to fight you. And with the how tanky, you know, the entire Team Tribe is getting. Look at Chuck. Look at Tigers. How tanky that they are, and look at Galio, Force of Nature. Demon's played, it's getting scarier and scarier. So that tower is not going to be meaning much. And now the next dragon is coming up, and Tribes are looking to get this just scot-free.
Yep, Dragon up just before the Baron. Baron has spawned. You see GOONS, the idea is there. They wanted to try and say, okay, maybe we'll trade Dragon for Baron. But the Dragon take is too quick, and with only 2 members, it meant Tribe was able to pressure GOONS away from that Baron. So now they have the dragon, and they can look to try and get this Baron for themselves instead. So again, great play by Tribe, recognizing the situation, saying, all right, we'll send just the minimum needed for that dragon, and then we'll make sure the rest of us keep Goons from trying to make any sort of trade on the other side of the map. But now Max Green and Chuck potentially going to look for and engage. That's been kind of the call of the order, is T-Tigers or Chuck go in, Max Green with the Galio ult on top, and then you have Starting and Old School just layering their damage around the outside of that fight. That's been the MO for Tribe this entire game, and I would not expect that to change.
Yeah, and if you look at this game, I gotta repeat myself once again, I think everybody played well on both teams. It's just a comp difference, right? Team Goons even got like a 2 River Scholar just to start off the game. They have the advantage, but they can't team fight because they simply don't have the damage for it. Now, Baron fight.
There's going to be Baron getting taken down, but here's the team fight afterwards. I think it was actually, yes, Red Team steals the Baron. Goons do get that objective, and they find a kill. They take down Starting. They do trade 1 for 1, but without Starting, that's going to be Tribe backing away from this fight. And now with the Baron buff minions, all of a sudden, this could be Goons finding a way back into this game.
Finding a way back into the game is Mr. Goons. You know, Mr. Goons are popping off with that steal on the Baron and with that incredible kill on Starting. At the same time, I think Starting was trying to zone everybody away, but he was a little bit too early on the zone, you know, which resulted in him dying. And he is Starting as a key damage dealer for the entire Team Tribe, cannot die that early. Yes, like sending out a package, laying out the territory control is important, but it's not as important of putting yourself in a position where it's completely disconnected from the entire team. And sure enough, he's gonna be heavily punished, but Max Green, he was letting a charm 1,000 miles away. I think that's just not gonna work out. But again, even with that steal though, as long as high ground tower is not pushed, Team Tribe is still in the driver's seat. It just right now, it gives Goons a fighting chance, right? Because they can take this, if they're gonna take some other standing gold, like a top tower, like a top tier 2 tower, they're gonna be back on the map, you know, on overall map control. And if Hoon can get a little bit more farm, it's all on him this game. It's all on Hoon, right? Can he does enough poke onto Starting, onto T-Tigers before the team fight begins? That's gonna be the crucial deciding factor on who wins the team fight.
Yep, and good job by Goons to push in mid and then rotate towards the top where Xayah was. Xayah wouldn't have been with them if Tribe had managed to force a fight there. So they rotate towards the AD carry so that if a fight does happen, she has less ground to cover to get involved. They get the turret, and now all of a sudden, what looked like it was going to be a decisive one-sided game is now looking significantly closer. The gold lead is still pretty significant at about 8,000 gold in favor of Tribe, but the later you get in the games, the less and less that gold actually means as you start to get into more and more items being completed. But there is still very much a big lead for Tribe.
Yeah, exactly. Like if you get somebody to 75,000 gold and another team 65,000 gold, that's literally no difference because everybody's full decked out item. You just have overflow of gold, you know, like that doesn't really help you. So now the Outer Ocean Dragon is on the table, on the map, excuse me, and that dragon looks ready to be taken down. Who's gonna get this dragon? We shall find out.
Tribe starting it off very early as soon as it spawns, but Goons are here to try and contest, to try and fight. Looking for an opportunity. You see Max Green and Starting on the other side of the wall, looking for a way to get in. They know exactly where Goons is. There's the engage. The Max knock-up is going to be huge when it comes through, and that's going to be a big Camille ultimate, but no one is going to go down as a result. And instead, it's Tribe just smacking it down. Goons using all of the extra money they have. The dragon has been left and forgotten, but Tribe doesn't care. They found 4 kills and can now push to end the game.
Max Green, the MVP of the game, bro. I cannot find a better MVP in this game. Another flash 4-man taunt. What else can you ask for more? What else do you want from a support player, ladies and gentlemen? This is it. This is like, you cannot get better engaged than that. I mean, Hoon got instantly deleted from the map thanks to that engage. Everybody followed up. Entire team of Goose, they cannot save Hoon because everybody get taunted at the same time. They grouped up and the Max Green find that engage and the CGWP instantaneously. So once again, congrats to Tribe for getting himself to the match point.
Yeah, absolutely clutch play from Max Green. And would you expect anything less? Getting in there, getting that massive taunt, and allowing the rest of the team to collapse. And, this is one of the things that we talked about with Tribe, where sometimes it seems like their engages are a little bit disjointed. They don't necessarily go at the same time. That was their entire squad moving as one and finding those kills they needed and securing game number 2 for themselves. Match point now on board for Tribe. If they win this one, they will be the Mobile Mayhem Season 1 champions.
Whew. Table has been turned since the group stage. Tribe comes in, definitely got some secret coaching behind the scene. Or they were just playing around, in the group stage, trying to ease out their opponent, right? Like trying to put them on
lull them into a false sense of security.
Yeah, exactly. False sense of security. That's it. That's the word we're looking for, ladies and gentlemen. Because this Tribe is not the Tribe we've seen in the group stage. This Tribe is something different. If you look at total gold and, look at the farm, the damage dealt. Again, I've said that Hoon is probably the life, the beacon of hope for Goons in that specific game because they need this Oriana to do damage, right? But then Max Green's like, nah, I'm gonna take that guy and 3 other people all at the same time. So once again, big shout out to Tribe for taking themselves to the match points, solidifying their control in the entire match. But we're gonna go ahead and take a short break. Do not go anywhere. Time to share the stream. Spam the like button. Spam the subscribe and follow on Trovo.live. We'll see you guys in a